Hi, I'm James Goulsbra, and with me is Amy Hancock. We are Being Counted the Boss podcast hosts, and today we're doing a video series on how we do what we do.
So, today we're going to talk about the future.
Have we got crystal ball?
Where do we see our practices being in the future? So, there's a lot of talk about AI.
Yes. It's gone, well, since the Caltex, it's just gone to a whole new level, hasn't it?
Yes. How are you currently using AI in your business?
For us, ChatGPT, I'm looking at summarising some things. We've got, I said earlier in the early episode about Fireflies with note-taking and how it's instantly stripping out the information we need for a summary and overview. Before we send that on to clients, because I like to have it, we just slightly tweak some things because some of the wording we don't like. And also then we're looking at how things like expert and more expert for us is setting parameters for us to just check systems as alerts us very quickly.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
So I'm using ChatGPT as well, daily. It's my new best friend.
So
It
daily
helps,
for what though?
Yeah, so it helps me with responses to clients.
Yep.
I'm not talking technical things. I'm talking how I word things. Obviously, we are trained accountants and we like talking in accountancy language. I need to break it down for my clients. I need to be able to put it in layman's terms. So I know how to ask ChatGPT now to put it in the language that I want. So it'll be letters, emails, social media posts.
Yep.
But I always tweak the social media posts after ChatGPT.
So it's delivering 90% of what you want to do. You just got the final.
Exactly. Or it gives me ideas for posts, social media posts, or it gives me ideas for blogs.
Yeah.
I will also ask it like random questions. For example, the other day I was thinking about my health and safety, my risk assessment.
Yeah.
So I was saying, right, as a small accountancy practice owner of 7 people, what should I be doing for health and safety purposes? Okay, I'm not going to rely on that, but it's pointing me in the direction of the HSE website and getting the display screen checklist that everyone needs to do at home. So I'm using it for that. The other day I used it for how long I should do a pork joint in an air fryer. Like it's literally life-changing.
Try just make a note down of that.
Dictate into ChatGPT on your phone, asking it a question. Disclaimer, we should not rely on it.
No.
And we should not be putting in client information.
No, and that's I think where we got to see as a profession where there's this big debate at the moment: is AI going to replace us?
No, it's not.
Is it going to enhance us?
Yes, it is. So it does save a lot of my admin time in responding to requests and doing marketing and things like that. I also use Fireflies. I have used Fireflies for audit testing.
Ooh.
So as part of the audit, I need to ask the directors or those in management certain questions about related parties and, have they got any obligations and post-balance sheet events. So I'm asking them the questions. They are obviously responding, and Fireflies is then putting together a transcript that I'm then going to put in my audit file. So I'm not typing up afterwards.
Cool.
But I've also used it to help generate flowcharts for systems.
Yep.
So when we're doing systems notes as part of our permanent audit files, I'm going, right, tell me about your sales process.
Yep.
So it will start from the beginning, from order to confirmation to invoice to payment. And they'll go through and I'll be able to take that information, put it into ChatGPT. Not ChatGPT as such of client information, but the ability to create a flowchart and then merging the two.
Yes.
And I've got a document ready to go.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to exploring Microsoft Copilot a bit more.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? How that's going to work.
Yeah, because I'm Microsoft based, the whole practice, we use 365 for everything. Having Copilot within there, could you imagine when it drafts a response to your client, to an email? That is going to change.
It's going to be, because it's going to be time saving. It's also going to give that element of a quicker service.
Yep.
we always, as a practice, try and make sure we're responding to clients with a certain time. We're not leaving it to the next day. We're not leaving it to the couple of days. It's on the day, but it's not necessarily within immediate. It might be half an hour later, an hour later. But with Copilot in particular, it could actually be instant.
Yeah.
An instant reply, as if you
and you just review it.
Yeah.
So like you're doing with the receipt capture software of it's
30 seconds of your time, or at most a minute or two, but that's it. So you're not having to think what to type. Check your grammar. If you're someone like me, it struggles with grammar. That's a big thing.
Yeah, for accountants, we do with numbers. We're not great with words.
Do we?
But could you imagine it pulling the information out of tax calc?
Yeah, it's going to be
the figures.
It's going to be the summarising of things, and I just think AI is going to is. I don't think it's ever going to replace us. It's not capable of replacing us. It's not capable of replacing the true knowledge, because deep down we need to know certain things in the disclosures of accounting and the tax legislation when it's tax advice. It's never going to be able to deliver that. It will just do a generic summary, and therefore then it's just quickening us up to then provide the depth, and that gives the value.
Do you think it could go a step further in because it's learning?
Yeah, maybe. But...
And saying, right, could you give me some remuneration planning for this client? I mean, I'm obviously saying not putting this into ChatGPT now, but something more secure to say, could you do some planning for this client? This is their history.
Who's to say it can't? But you're still having to check it. You're not just going to say it's done. It's gone out the door, and therefore you go,
it's like
box
a staff member. It's like having a staff member that's doing the work for you. You're still checking it before it goes out the door.
Yeah. So AI, I think, is going to allow us as a profession to essentially grow in some places and not necessarily have to take on huge amounts of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to allow us to manage things a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it, really. I'm excited to see where we're going to go because for us as a practice, I want to continue pushing forward.
Yeah.
Maybe you say I get bored about it. I don't. I enjoy working with the clients we work with and the team we've got, but pushing forward brings other opportunities, like for example this.
Yeah, I think we're coming the generations, the kids that are coming through, coming out of school, they are being taught on laptops, on computers.
Yeah.
They're going to be using AI in their day-to-day school, not for writing essays.
Even the students of ACCA, they're coming to a time of our industry where it's exciting. They're seeing new ways, ways that we weren't taught, and how they're incorporating this technology into their learning.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to it's going to stand everyone in good stead, hopefully.
Yeah. Another piece of kit, like you mentioned, was Expert or Xenon. Either of them will give you data from the bookkeeping. So for us, we're basing our bookkeeping costs on transaction volumes, and we've been going into QuickBooks and Xero and Free Agent to get those volumes. Whereas these bits of kits they're already there. So it's saving time.
It's done within a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
It's just adding to our value.
Yes.
But it's interesting that people are talking about use of bots and would you use a bot? Are you using a bot?
I'm not massively minded on technically minded to know how this works, but from talking to other people, you can train a bot to say, go in and reconcile this bank, and it will do it at intervals or live time.
Yep.
I'm not the best person to talk about this, I'm not going to lie. I think I would probably wait until a few more people are using bots and there's one that's done. But actually building one myself, I mean, never do that.
No, I agree. I also don't think, people are talking about bots replacing bookkeepers. I don't think it will, because the bookkeepers are still going to check it. The accountants are still going to end up checking it.
Yeah.
It's the point is, it's just doing the brunt work.
I think it will save them processing time. So as well, for bookkeepers, they will be able to do more of the reviewing.
Yeah.
And go into advisory.
Yeah.
And the same for us.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be different advisory, maybe for accountants and bookkeepers, you would have thought. But
definitely, because we look at different aspects and we see things from a different point of view.
Yeah. So it just means that their actual processing time, just like when receipt capture came in.
Yeah.
There was this, what are we going to do? No one's sitting there typing out the description that's on the invoice. But it hasn't, I don't think I've heard of any bookkeepers that have stopped doing what they're doing because of receipt capture. So I feel like having a bot is another element that's going to help them.
Yeah.
And it might mean that they can then take on more clients.
Definitely.
And in turn, if we have bots helping us put the figures in for the year-end accounts, that are already, you've got QuickBooks and Xero that are producing year-end accounts from the bookkeeping software anyway. So could it look at, is it in line with FRS 102?
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't mean we're not then going to look at it.
No.
We will.
But disclosures are changing all the time. We're going to have new disclosures coming out next year.
Yeah.
And this year, next year. Yeah. So we still need to know these things.
Yes, exactly. You don't want to take that away, but you can program a bot to look for certain things. I'm looking at you for reassurance.
Yeah, I'm going to go yes.
Yes.
But it's an exciting part. So we obviously acknowledge that AI is going to play a big part.
Yes.
What does the future hold for Hancock and Hastings? And what could you see changing in a few years' time in order to get there?
So I think actually half of my business is audit.
Yep.
I feel like when the changes in the thresholds, small company thresholds happen, I think I will lose the majority of my audits.
Right.
Because I am dealing with people that are or companies that are just over the audit threshold.
So there's on the cusp.
I will still have charities.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, they're not changing, but well, who knows?
So could you not just change the mindset of these clients where they're going under the audit threshold because that they still should be in the mindset of having an audit? Because if they go back over, they'll have the audit and the prior year audited as well.
Yes. So I think it's going to depend on the client. If they're up with the 15 million turnover, if they're up there and they could see themselves teetering, one client that we would be...
Is that not like the advisory stuff you could do for them?
Yeah, but I've got to be careful because I'm a sole practitioner.
Yeah.
So I don't
understand
want to delve into that. But they might still want one. But if you're talking about someone that's just over the 10 million and they've, they're not going to want that expensive an audit. I understand, I'm trying to preach on LinkedIn and everything about the value in audit, to see it more than just something that you have to do, but you're still dealing with thousands of pounds of cost to have an audit.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't see the value in it. No matter how much I try, they don't see the value in having someone checking their work. They don't see that, checking the finance function.
No, because they always... my experience with them, they always think you're trying to pick out an error. You're not. You're just trying. You just try to make sure it's true and fair, and it's.
Yeah, and I'm all about, when I go and do an audit, I'm all about how can we improve your system? How can we make it better?
That's how it's got to be seen. Yeah. And I think for you, there's more of that out there to do.
Yes, but I don't think that is necessarily a statutory audit. But going in and doing, maybe Hancock and Hastings could do a systems review service.
Yes.
I do some assurance reviews, which are not as detailed as an audit.
It's a semi-audit.
Yeah, it's like halfway house. So, like an independent exam for a charity, that kind of thing. So, actually, I think my shift will be from audit into more assurance review and systems review on that side. On the general practice, I think we're just going to we'll be following legislation.
Yeah.
Really. There's obviously a shift with making tax digital to quarterly reporting, quarterly payments.
That may, I think that will happen because
it's down
maybe
the line.
I think it's inevitable. Why would you do the quarterly report and not get the quarterly payments?
So I think actually there'll be more bookkeeping to do. Yeah. We were talking about bots taking it away, but we'll have more clients that have to report quarterly.
Hand-holding.
Exactly. So we will get more into that cycle of, using receipt capture, using the bookkeeping software for everyone all the way down to I've just got a side hustle.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be doing more of that, and that will overtake my traditional compliance of year-end accounts.
Yeah.
corporation tax returns.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm thinking that's where my practice is going. What about yours?
I think we are definitely going to be doing more of the advisory route.
Yeah.
I think we'll be possibly looking at more of the, we are the business advisors.
Yeah.
The compliance, yes, we do, and we'll always be following that route as it goes on, as you sort of said.
It'll be there.
But we'll continue to grow from constantly being on our client side, just being there all the time, and that'll be one, we're just going to continue to grow on that point. Processes that we're going to drop, well, or stop doing, it's hard to say at the moment because we're constantly learning. And what I think where we could be in a couple of years' time, to be honest, we might not need.
Yeah.
Software is constantly changing. We're seeing others tripping up as they do a development because they think it's the right way to go. And we could go full guns blazing and go and use it and realise it's not doing what we want to do, and it can set us back a bit.
Yeah.
One thing I do know is I'm not going to be, probably another 15, 20 years of doing this, and then I'm going to exit.
Okay.
So the plan is to make sure the team are leading it.
Okay.
And I'm the front, but I can be...
You can step away.
Yeah. I'd be a nice place to be. Whether it will happen, I don't think it will. And my wife will certainly disagree with me on that and say that I will never want to let go. So I'm determined, because I'm a very stubborn person, to make that happen.
So, in summary, there's going to be a lot of change.
Yep.
Monthly, yearly.
Yep.
Who knows where it's going to be, but hopefully it will all be for the better. Thank you, James. It's been a pleasure doing this series with you. And thank you to everyone for watching. And thanks to the ACCA for having us. We've really enjoyed doing this series with them.